All right, let's now shift our attention to what is happening in France, where the French President Emmanuel Macron's back is clearly against the wall. Now, the clouds of a fresh election are looming large. The newly appointed Prime Minister Sebastien Lecornu, believe it or not, has also tendered his resignation, making him the fifth head of government to do so in the last 2 years. And Lecornu spent a grand total of 27 days in office as the Prime Minister. He's now decided to step down from his position just hours after the appointment of cabinet. But before Lecornu leaves the office, Macron has now urged him to stay on as the Prime Minister for 48 hours more. The French president has asked Lecornu to build a stability plan, and this would involve negotiations with a very hostile opposition. But the hope is to break the impasse, which is pretty thin. The Socialist Party is asking Macron to appoint their Prime Minister. The far-right National Rally is in fact calling for the dissolution of the National Assembly, and Macron's own party leaders are saying that they simply no longer understand his own decisions. The sticking point in the budget cuts is bringing down one government after another. The country's debt has risen to over 113% of the GDP, and the deficit has nearly doubled the European Union's 3% limit. The earlier plan was to cut down the spending, and that has failed to court political storm from the far right as well as from the far left parties. The Macron is 3 years into his second term, and since his re-election, he's seen the departure of a total of 5 prime ministers. The longest-serving prime minister was Elizabeth Borne. She remained the prime minister for 1.5 years. Macron then appointed Gabriel Attal, France's youngest and first openly gay prime minister. He passed the baton to Michel Barnier in September 2024. Just 3 months later, Barnier was removed through a no-confidence vote. And next, it was Francois Bayrou who took charge of the office, but he met with the same fate in another no-confidence vote that was brought against him after 9 months. Sebastien Lecornu was the next in line, and France's prime ministerial musical chair continues. But the question, of course, remains, can Lecornu salvage the French government in 48 hours? If not, Macron will be left with 3 very dire choices: name a new prime minister again, dissolve the parliament and then call for fresh elections, or probably resign himself. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.